Okay, first Q&A, let's go. Tell us something cringy about yourself that nobody knows. Okay, this is a little bit gross, but you guys asked for it. So my two pinky toes, like the nail actually doesn't grow like in a normal way. Like for example, on my hand, it goes like this way, right? Oh, and by the way, I know my nails are blue. That's because I dyed my hair yesterday and yeah, it stained my nails. So I'm gonna cover it with nail polish later. But anyways, just ignore the hands. Okay, so pinky nail, usually it grows like this up, right? But my nail actually grows this way because it's so small that it just grows up and not out. So basically when I clip it, I just clip the entire thing. Like I clip it looks like a mountain. So you just clip the entire thing and then it's flat. Then I just like use the shaver thingy. Anyways, okay. Next question, have you been monetized on YouTube? And if not, what's your plan? So I am not monetized yet. There are two criteria to becoming monetized, which are number one, to have 1,000 subscribers, which I do. So now I have 2,000 subscribers. And then the second criteria, which is the harder one to get, is to have 4,000 watch hours within the last 365 days. So it's like a rolling basis. So right now I have about 3,000 watch hours. So I'm getting close. I think if my channel keeps growing the way it's been growing, then I'll get there probably in 2 months. So what's my plan? Well, right now I am aiming to do 1 to 2 videos a week. Ideally, I would do 2 videos a week, but sometimes I can burn out a little bit when I'm just doing so many videos a week. And I'm really trying to make higher quality videos that are more interesting. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going on bad days? This is, I guess, motivation is a really hard thing to talk about because I feel like there's so many factors involved. Well, obviously, like maybe on the day of, I might just like not feel that good, or maybe like the day before I was scrolling on Instagram and then I was comparing myself to somebody else. So I think I struggle a lot with comparison. Just in general, like what keeps me motivated every day is like my big purpose, which is to inspire people. And I want to help people like do the things that they want to do. And I'm really big on self-help and personal development. And so I think for me, when I get to see other people improve themselves and do the things that they love, which on this channel, I share a lot of things about starting a creative business. Like when I get to see that, it really makes me happy. And so that's what keeps me motivated, is knowing that the work I do is actually very impactful. And I do also have some coaching programs, which you can find more information below. With these coaching programs, like I get to work with people on a more direct way instead of just like talking to you guys on YouTube or on Instagram. And so actually going on the journey with somebody in their business journey has been super rewarding. And let's say it's like a bad day where I don't feel that good. Like sometimes, I can't remember where I heard this phrase, but basically if you get up and you're not motivated, just do the thing anyways. And when you do the thing, like then it's going to inspire motivation. Like action inspires motivation, not motivation inspires action. So yeah, on days where I don't feel very motivated, I'll still do stuff. And let's say it's like I'm like sick or something, or I'm not feeling that well. Like I'll just do the minimum, like the bare minimum. Like I think we should all give ourselves grace and not push ourselves so hard when we feel not physically well or mentally well. Have you ever felt overwhelmed with business, like doing every single thing by yourself? Yes, totally. This is like story of my life. I get overwhelmed a lot, not so much right now because it's been like 2.5 years of me running this business full time, but right when I quit my job, I think that was the most overwhelming because I was stressed about money. I was stressed about like proving to my parents that I didn't have to go back and get a job. So during that time, I was super, super stressed and overwhelmed. And yeah, I had to do everything by myself. Right now, I think I've gotten used to this kind of lifestyle of working for myself and setting my own schedule and everything like that. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite videos that I've made is this time blocking video. So check it out. This is how I like plan out my day every single day. But now that it's been a while of me working in my business, like I am used to it and I have hired help. So I have an assistant who helps me with some social media stuff, YouTube uploads, blogging, Pinterest, and some other projects. So for you, if you are trying to start a business and you're feeling overwhelmed, it's really normal to feel that way. So don't feel like there's something wrong with you. I think every single business owner will feel overwhelmed, either sometimes or all the time. If you don't feel overwhelmed, then like, please give me your tips on how to not feel overwhelmed. Oh, another thing that really, really helped me, and this is because I'm like the type of person who just thinks a lot and overthinks, and sometimes I can like spiral. So about a year and a half ago, I was working with a business coach, and he told me to start meditating. And meditating actually like really changed my life. Like I started just doing like 5 minutes every day, and then like now after doing it for a year and a half pretty consistently, I've been able to just see the change in my mental clarity. Like when I'm just thinking, I can catch myself if I have like a negative thought or something, and I'm just like more self-aware of my thoughts. So if you haven't tried meditating, I would highly recommend it. The way I started was using the Headspace app. I did pay for an annual subscription. I do think it's quite worth it. I love the little cartoons and like the animations and stuff. I think it's like very beginner friendly. But then another one I also like, which is free, is this YouTube channel called Great Meditations, and they have the best thumbnails and the best voice. Yeah, like the voice is so soothing, so you can check it out. What do you think the difference between doing a business with a partner, like a friend or family, and with just like all by yourself? Okay, so I don't know if I can like talk about this because I haven't had to do business with like a family or friend or partner. I've only been doing business by myself. Like I haven't really worked with anybody else, but I think there is a huge difference when it's like just me by myself. I can make decisions fast, I can change things, I can just do whatever I kind of feel like. But if you are working in a partnership, there definitely has to be way more communication and trust. And one thing I know for sure is if you do want to start something with somebody else, you should have an agreement or like a contract. Like something you can do is just look online for some kind of an agreement, just so you know like how you're splitting up the work or the money, but just having that there in case you run into problems. Obviously, I hope you don't run into problems, but sometimes business can get messy, and so it's best to protect yourself. How was your YouTube journey? Oh, I love this question. My YouTube journey has been kind of really up and down. I started doing it a year and a half ago, and I never intended on trying to get big on YouTube. I think I just wanted to put out some resources for calligraphers, which was my audience at that time. For my first 40 videos, that was what I talked about. That's kind of how I started. I did feel like I was very burnt out at first. I started YouTube because I wanted to have some resources out there, but I wasn't really sure of my direction. So along in my first year, I took so many breaks. I felt super burnt out. And I also think just being in front of the camera was so draining because I felt like I was trying to be super energetic, which I am sometimes energetic, but I'm not like that energetic all the time. So I felt like I was trying to be somebody that I'm not, and that's why it was so draining. And I had so many problems with my camera and audio quality. Like my first 40 to 50 videos, the audio just sucked. Thankfully, I figured out what was the problem. It was because my camera at the time, which was a Fujifilm X-T200, the preamp wasn't good, like the preamp for audio. So then I had to get an external microphone, and then anyways, in the end, I sold it and I bought a Canon M50 instead. And I also figured out my audio. So yeah, I feel like with the technical difficulties and then me trying to present myself in a way that wasn't myself, it was just super not that fun. I did have a video editor who made my life so much easier. Then like around the 50th video, I felt just not that great about my YouTube direction. And that was also the time where I felt like I kind of wanted to pivot my business to serving just more general creatives instead of just calligraphers. Like I wanted to broaden my audience. So that's when I really thought about things. And then I thought, okay, do I want to continue the YouTube? What do I want to do? And after doing a lot of like journaling and self-reflection, I figured out that I actually do want to continue YouTube and actually make it like a bigger part of what I do. Now my goal is to get big on YouTube. And for this year, I am trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. Right now I'm at 2,000, so I need to grow like 100 times more, which I think I really like having a big goal, and I think it is doable with the right strategies. Yeah, like I feel like after I had to reflect on whether or not I wanted to continue with YouTube, because YouTube is like a huge time commitment and it is a lot of work. So in the end, I did decide that I really want to continue with YouTube and actually make it like one of my main platforms. When do you think a solo business owner needs an upgrade for hiring people to help with their business? I've worked with different kinds of contractors in the past. Right now I have a contractor, she's my assistant, and I've had some other like hiring experiences as well. And I think when I was feeling like there was too much to do, and also there were like things that were just admin things that I really didn't need to do. So for example, like one of the tasks I just hated doing every single week was accepting people into my Facebook group, because I have like 3 questions that I ask people, and then I have to like copy paste their email into my mailing list. I need to accept them. So that was just like very manual, like admin thing that I really didn't have to do. So when you feel like there are things that don't necessarily need to be done by you, that's when you can outsource it. And for most business owners, I think one of the first kinds of people you can consider hiring is a virtual assistant or someone to help with social media, just more like admin stuff. But I've also had other contractors. The more long-term one was my video editor who edited my first 50 videos and also did the thumbnails. So yeah, the reason why I hired him was because at the time I did not know anything about video editing, and I just wanted to get videos out there so I could be like resourceful. So that's why I outsourced that, because I didn't want to spend the time to learn. But as you might know, after my 50th video and after like thinking about what I want to do more with my YouTube, that's when I decided that, okay, I want to do more storytelling things. And so that's when I decided to do my own video editing. So I slowly transitioned out of using my video editor, who by the way is great. His name is Eric. I'll link his information below. And oh my gosh, what was the question? Okay. The hiring question. Okay, so here's the thing. You are ready to hire when you will probably not feel ready to hire, but thinking about the task that you're doing, or if you want to add like a new thing. For example, for me, it's with the YouTube and the video editing, which I couldn't do. If you're in that kind of situation, then you can consider it. And when you hire somebody, you don't need to hire like a full-time employee and like commit. You can start off really small and just hire an assistant for like 2 hours a week or something, just to do the things you don't want to do. Maybe I should make a hiring video. I don't know. Yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, so what is your advice for people who want to build a business on YouTube and who want to go full-time? At what point do you think it's wise for a YouTuber to take the plunge and quit their real job? So I think this is a great question. And for me, I guess it's hard for me to answer this because I don't consider myself like a full-time YouTuber. Like I'm a full-time business owner who also does YouTube. Like maybe I spend half my time doing YouTube, but I don't consider it my full-time thing. A lot of people start YouTube to complement a current business that they're already in. So that's me. I already have my coaching and my calligraphy business. So YouTube is complementing that. It's helping me with that. Now, there's another type of person who maybe you don't have a current business already, but you want to be more of like an influencer type, content creation type just on YouTube and make passive income. So there's kind of like 2 types of people who will do YouTube. And so I think quitting a job is a very big decision, and I can't really give like a general advice on when to quit because there's so many factors, like there's Do you have savings? Like, what is your financial situation? What are your financial obligations? You have kids, you pay for a mortgage, a car, and how much you have in savings. What if you do quit? How long can you last with your savings? So I think there's a lot of things. Maybe this is just an example of a scenario and what you could do. Like, let's say 2 YouTube videos just take off. You could take like a 3-week vacation, right, from your job and just work on the YouTube full time, kind of like a test run to see what it would be like to be a full-time YouTuber, or just take like a week off or something. Or you could ask to go part-time in your job. So there are a lot of options, and I don't think there's like a black and white answer. And I do have another Q&A that I did about quitting my job, so you can check it out if you're interested in quitting job decision stuff. What do you like best about doing YouTube videos? I love that I can like help people like through my content. And I'm a big fan of just sharing stories and sharing my journey. And that's what I really love. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but when I was like 11 years old, I started blogging. I've created like 10 blogs in my whole life. They're like not monetized. I just had them on like WordPress.com, like the free thing. And I just love telling stories, sharing about my life experience. Most of the time I was just like writing for myself, but I just love making content that is reflective and can help people. Eventually I did start to share more of it. I do have one public blog from like the old days. So it's dinaludi.com. Ludi is my Chinese name. That's why it's dinaludi.com. So yeah, I've always loved just sharing things. And I thought like when I was thinking about if I wanted to continue YouTube or not after the 1-year mark, I did consider if I should just focus on blogging, because that's something I really, really enjoyed for a really long time. And then I thought, but if my goal is to help people, like share my story, share my growth journey and help people, then which platform is more impactful, blogging or YouTube? And I definitely think nowadays video, like YouTube, is way more impactful and it's just easier to reach people and easier to connect with people. So that's why I chose YouTube. And yeah, that's my favorite thing. So basically being able to connect with people. I love reading comments of like you saying like you like my video. So yeah, that's like my favorite thing, is just being able to connect with people and knowing that I am helping them with my content. If this content is helpful for you, let me know in the comments. What are your views on sticking to a niche? I definitely think that it is important to niche down in business for many, many reasons. Yeah, the more niche, the better. And I think if you really can't decide on a niche, then you can experiment for a while in the short term, but then after you do some experimentation, like you should niche down. It's way easier. I do have a more in-depth video about how to niche down, so check it out here. But yes, in general, niching down is very, very good. What is your favorite song? I don't really have a favorite song, but these days I've really been trying to find, like, I love supporting small creators because I feel like as a small creator, I really appreciate it when people like watch my content. And so these days I've stopped listening to like the charts and I've really started to try to find smaller musicians. I use Spotify, so I just search like small artists, pop or something, and then I can find a bunch. Okay, that was all the questions. So if you do have more questions, let me know below. But yeah, hopefully this was interesting and you got to know me a bit better. Leave me a comment. I would love to connect with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.